everyone, Gore the Rogue, Greg Satilla here from CRPG Legends to talk about some of the big changes coming to World of Warcraft Classic now that it has been announced that we are soon going to be headed into the Burning Crusade expansion. Now, for a lot of players, including myself, the Burning Crusade was one of the highest points that World of Warcraft had ever achieved, and we are so excited to get back into the Outlands. I want to take some time and just do a high-level overview on the major changes happening with the upcoming expansion, and then I will dive into some of those changes and more in subsequent videos. I have been spending the last couple of weeks diving into as much Burning Crusade information as possible in order to prepare quality content for the channel, so this should be the first of many content videos covering the upcoming Burning Crusade. First off, both factions will receive a new race, a new class, and a new starting area complete with Major City. The Horde will be receiving Blood Elves, the ability to play as Paladins, and the new Quel'Thalas starting zone with Silvermoon City. The Alliance will receive the Draenei, be able to play as Shamans, and get the new Azure Mist Isle starting area with the Draenei ship Exodar functioning as their capital city. The level cap is raised from 60 to 70, and to reach the new leveling cap, we get the Outlands as our new major questing area, the devastated planet that the orcs came from, ravaged in places by the fell magic of Gul'dan. In Outlands, we get 7 new zones: Hellfire Peninsula, Zangar Marsh, Tarokar Forest, Nagrand, Blades Edge Mountains, Shadowmoon Valley, and Netherstorm. Each zone has a unique theme and plenty of new quests and items. This is where a majority of the new content is going to take place, in the Outlands. Classes will receive new spells and talent tree overhauls. Classes will receive new ways to synergize and increase their power levels. Specs that were previously only seen as meme specs begin to see much more value, and hybrid classes begin to see their options become viable across the board. This is where we get to see more classes like Retribution Paladins, we get to see Prot Paladins, we get Elemental Shaman and Enhancement Shaman, we get more Balanced Druids and more DPS Feral Druids. It's really an interesting time for the game. The combat stats system is also completely overhauled and replaced with the combat rating system, as we no longer see percentage-based stats such as hit, crit, dodge, and others, and instead replace them with a new rating system. This was done in order not to have to inflate values for percentage-based stats going forward. Devs did not want gear that added 1% hit at 60 to add that same value at level 70, because it would overvalue the lower gear that players achieved at 60. So the rating system was born so the percentage value of the rating could be different dependent what level your character was. A little complicated, but it makes sense. A complete new set of dungeons and raids have been added, along with new heroic dungeon system that allows you to increase the difficulty and quality of items that drop in dungeons once you have reached the reputation requirement necessary with the specific dungeon faction. Basically, if you play current Warcraft, you know of heroic dungeons. This is the same concept. It just started in the Burning Crusade. It's basically a harder version of the dungeons that you have done while leveling. It's an awesome system, and I'm glad to see it coming. Professions have had the master level added to train up to 375 in all professions, along with new recipes and a brand new profession of jewel crafting, and the addition of socketed items, which can have their attributes bolstered with the addition of jewels. We see the addition of a guild bank, which allows players to see what is in their guild bank, donate to their guild, and also remove items from the guild bank with certain permissions. It is very valuable for raiding guilds that pass out consumables or mats to their players. It's also just really nice to have and to have that access. Also, guilds can choose to pay for players' repairs, turn that on, turn that off. It's a really nice system that gets expanded on later. Major changes to the PvP system, including changes to ranking and PvP gearing. A new PvP specific stat, Resilience, is added, which reduces your chance of being crit and the damage received from crits. A new battleground is added, Eye of the Storm. And probably the biggest change people are waiting for is the addition of the arena system, allowing you to team up with some friends and battle 2v2, 3v3, or 5v5 against opponents in one of 3 different arenas. Finally, the raid size is pared down from 40 people down to 25 people, which is going to cause frustration for a lot of guilds, and it may be a godsend for other guilds. But raid size is shrinking down to what is now a more common size of 25. This is a change that was seen as necessary for a lot of guilds when WoW was new, but it's going to cause some pain now, as a much higher percentage of players are in much better functioning guilds this time around. We will talk more about this in a later video as well. These are the major changes that are coming with the Burning Crusade, but there are also a large amount of quality of life changes that are going to be coming our way with the Burning Crusade, such as the debuff limit change from 16 to 40. This, combined with the change in raid size, allows for classes to use dots that they were not allowed to use in raids before. Rogues, for example, will now be using deadly poisons and rupture for DPS, where in vanilla, those abilities would take away valuable debuff slots that were needed for tanks or other valuable debuffs. Heal over time spells and damage over time spells will get a percentage of spell power increase, allowing them to be affected to a greater degree by spell power gear. Heal over times from different sources will now stack, so if you get 3 renews from 3 priests, they will all stack on the target, whereas before you would only get the most powerful renew staying on the target. Enchanting rods now count for all the previous rods, so you don't need to keep the old rods from lower level enchants in your bank. The find herbs and minerals now persist through death, along with the addition of other find services like find repair, find ammunition, find food and water. All great quality of life additions. The little huts in Thunder Bluff will no longer dismount you as you are running through the city on your mount, which is really nice. These are just a few of the quality of life changes that are small but will make a big difference overall. I'm trying to compile a larger list that I can share in the future. Also, a lot of the quality of life changes are class specific, like rogues no longer coming out of stealth on sap, or hunters automatically starting their auto shot when they are out of the dead zone. As for new changes and improvements being added to TBC Classic that are different from the original release, those are still being announced. We do know there will be changes to the leatherworking drums, although we aren't sure what those are yet. We also know that Alliance Paladins will get access to Seal of Blood this time, and Horde Paladins will get access to Seal of the Martyr, and they're never going to use it. But I do think it is fair to give Alliance access to Seal of Blood, due to the fact that it is such an imbalance between the two factions with that ability. Thanks again everyone for tuning in. We should be getting more info on the Burning Crusade Classic soon as speculation on release date increases. I will be back soon with more video content on World of Warcraft and other role-playing games. Thanks very much. See you next time.